All right, 11-5, dividing polynomials. Actually going to do some division today. When we did multiplying and dividing rationals, basically we were just canceling and finding out things that would get rid of each other. But today there will be some actual dividing. So when we had, in the last section, we had something like this. Okay? This would be our final answer. And the trick that I told you is we can't divide 1 into 2. Now that changes just a little bit, and you'll see why here in just a minute. The reason I can't take a monomial into a binomial is because it doesn't go into evenly. All right, so this would be the answer for what we did on Tuesday. Now, what you're going to see today will be something like this. 2x squared, let's say plus 18x all over 2x. Now, you will see that this is a binomial and a monomial on the bottom. But the difference today is that the 2x can divide into both of them evenly. Okay, and so I will take them individually. 2x squared divided by 2x. Well, let's divide the numbers. 2 divided by 2 is 1. In any fraction, I don't need to put a 1 up there. And then I have x squared divided by x, and that's just going to leave me an x on the top. Bring over my addition sign. Do the numbers again. 18 divided by 2 is 9. And then those x's would cancel each other. X divided by x would be 1. So this will just be x plus 9. Again, the difference in the two is that the one on the right can go into both numbers. The one on the left cannot. Okay, the x could go into the x, but it's not going to go into the -5. And so that's the difference in dividing polynomials today. So let's do another example. Okay, this one will be real similar. At this point, we can't do anything with it. We do need to factor it. So we need to factor the top into 2 parentheses. Remember, we're going to do a lot of factoring. On the bottom, that's just going to stay x plus 6 because I can't do anything with it. And so x on the top. Again, keep in mind they've put an x plus 6 on the bottom, so more than likely there's going to be an x plus 6 on the top. So let's take a look at that. Let's put an x plus 6 in there and see if that works. That would mean the second factor would have to be x plus 3. Let's see, 6 times 3 is 18. 6 plus 3 is 9. That's perfect. This is just like what we did the other day. These will cancel completely, the x plus 6's. And I'm just left with x plus 3. Okay, so that's very similar to what we did the other day. Let's take a look at another one. Okay, let's take a look at x squared plus 12x minus 14 divided by 3x. Let's go ahead and change that form to make it look like a fraction. Okay, now we would look to factor x squared plus 12x minus 14. So let's think about that for just a second. I'm going to go off to the right over here and put 2 sets of parentheses. And so we've got x and x. We have to get negative 14, so that's going to be a plus and a minus. And my factors of 14 are 14 and 1 and 2 and 7. So 14 and 1, I can't put that together to make it a 12. And 2 and 7, I can't put it together to make a 12. So this is unfactorable. So we need to take it as it is. Okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to work each one individually. Okay? We're going to take x squared and divide it by 3x. Then we're going to take 12x and divide it by 3x. And then we're going to take negative 14 and divide it by 3x. And we're going to just simplify everything that we can. Okay? In the first term, notice that I have an x squared on top and an x on the bottom. So that's going to change to x over 3. Again, x squared divided by x to the first. We subtract those exponents. So x goes to the top and the 3 stays on the bottom. The next term, let's divide the numbers. 12 divided by 3 is going to be 4. And then x divided by x, that's going to cancel. And then we go to the last term. 3 is not going to go into 14. I can't reduce that any further. I don't have any x's on the top, so there's simply nothing I can do with that. So as crazy as the answer seems, it is x over 3 plus 4 minus 14 over 3x. Again, that's only because, the only reason it came out like that is because we could not factor it at the beginning. Okay, our final one will be x squared plus 4x plus 12 divided by x plus 3. They're going to ask you to do some old school long division. And I know everybody's excited about that right now. You're probably jumping out of your seats, ready to go. So let's take a look at this. We're going to take the first term and we're going to divide it by the second term. Okay, first term divided by second term. Okay, one thing you'll notice here is we're going to want to put everything in the same column, and I'll get back to that in just a minute. Here's what we want to do. How many times will x go into x squared? Okay, or let me ask it a different way. X times what is x squared? And so in the back of your mind, you should be thinking x. Okay, well, I have an x squared column, I have an x column, and I have a number column. So I'm going to put that x in the x column, and let's watch what happens. We're going to do distributive property, x times x plus 3. So over here, I'm going to take x times x plus 3, distribute, and that's going to give me x squared plus 3x. So I'm going to go over here and put x squared plus 3x. Now, in long division, what did we do with that next term? Well, we subtracted it, so this is going to change the sign of everything in here. Changes that to a minus as well. So x squared minus x squared is going to cancel. That's what we want. 4x minus 3x is 1x. And then I bring down my next term, just like good old long division. Move that up just a little bit. Now I do the same thing. How many times does x go into x? And that's going to be 1. And then I don't have to go over and do my distributive property for 1 because I know x plus 3 times 1 is going to be x plus 3. Then I subtract, which means I change the signs of everything, and 12 minus 3 is 9. Now, I don't want to add decimals to this. This is just going to be a remainder. So that is a positive 9. So the way we're going to write this remainder, okay, if you remember how to write remainders, that's going to be plus 9, and we have to divide it by our denominator, which is x plus 3. Okay, so take your remainder, check the sign of it, and put it over your denominator. So my answer is x plus 1 plus 9 over x plus 3. Not a whole lot of those on the assignment, just a few, but just some long division of polynomials. All right, 9 minutes worth, guys. We will see you in the morning.